Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Kaizen Academy. You know, if you've heard of 5S, you might just think it's about tidying up your desk or your workspace. But what if it's actually the secret foundation for all meaningful long-term improvement? Today, we are going to dive deep into why 5S isn't just a simple tool. It's a core philosophy that can totally transform how you think about safety, quality, and even innovation. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start by looking at the real dangers of disorganization, those hidden costs of chaos. Then we'll explore the incredible philosophy Toyota built to fight it. From there, we'll introduce 5S as the hands-on tool for the job, see what a 5S environment actually looks and feels like, and then, this is the important part, we'll connect it all to the ultimate goal, continuous improvement, or Kaizen. And of course, we'll wrap up with your next step. All right, let's jump right in. First up, the real-world consequences of a messy, disorganized workplace. And believe me, it's about so much more than just wasting a few minutes looking for a tool. So let's start with a really big question. Forget all the complex strategies, forget the big budgets for just a minute. What do you think is the single biggest, most overlooked barrier to making things better day in and day out? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it's probably hiding in plain sight. Now this right here is so important. This quote comes directly from Toyota's own handbook, and it is crystal clear. Disorganization isn't just an efficiency problem, it is a safety problem. When a workspace is chaotic, it makes every task harder, and worse, it creates hazards. And as we're about to see, in the Toyota way of thinking, safety is absolutely non-negotiable. So if disorganization is the enemy, what's the mindset behind the solution? This brings us to the Toyota Production System, or TPS. And you gotta understand, this isn't just a box of tools. It's a deep, powerful culture built on some really core principles. Getting these is the key to understanding what 5S is all about. To really get this, we have to go way back in time, even before Toyota was making cars. Back in 1902, Sakichi Toyota invented a loom that would automatically stop if a single thread broke. This idea, which they called jidoka, meant that quality was literally built into the process. It stopped defects right in their tracks. This idea of making problems immediately visible, well, that's the cornerstone of everything that came next. And this is the heart of it all. The entire system is built on a profound respect for the people doing the work. Making a workplace safer and more organized isn't just about spreadsheets and productivity numbers. It's the most fundamental way to show that you value your team. For Toyota, the philosophy is simple. Safety can never, ever be sacrificed for anything. This slide is perfect because it shows the huge difference in thinking. The old traditional way is to just pile up extra inventory, just in case. But what does that really do? It just hides all your problems. If a machine breaks, no worries, we've got buffer stock. If we're making defects, whatever, we'll sort them out later. But Toyota's just-in-time system does the exact opposite. By getting rid of that extra stock, any disruption, any problem at all, is immediately exposed. It forces you to fix the root cause, not just put a bandage on the symptom. Okay, so if the big goal is to create this super safe workplace where problems have nowhere to hide, how do you actually do it? Well, that brings us to 5S, the practical, hands-on method Toyota came up with to bring that big philosophy to life right there on the shop floor. So what is it really? Well, at its core, 5S is a system for organizing a workplace built on 5 simple ideas. Sort, which is getting rid of stuff you don't need, set in order, organizing what's left, shine, which means cleaning everything, standardize, creating rules to keep it that way, and sustain, which is all about making it a long-term habit. See, it's not a one-time spring cleaning. It's a disciplined method for creating an environment that is so well-ordered, it becomes the very foundation for safety and standardized work. Now we get to the really cool part. When you implement 5S, it does way more than just make a place look neat. It creates what people in the lean world call a visual workplace, an environment that literally talks to you. Just imagine walking into a work area where you can instantly understand everything that's going on. That's the magic of 5S. You use things like color coding, you have clear labels, designated homes for every single item, and the workplace itself tells you the status of the work. Is everything where it should be? Is a tool missing? Are we following the process correctly? In a real 5S environment, you can see the answers in a single glance. It's all about making the normal state so obvious that anything abnormal, any problem, just jumps out at you. And this, right here, brings us to the ultimate point of this entire explainer. 5S is not the end goal. It is the absolutely essential, non-negotiable starting point for any real, sustainable, continuous improvement. For Kaizen, The logic here is just perfect. Check it out. First, you use 5S to create a stable, predictable, and visual environment. You can't improve chaos, right? Once things are stable, then you can create standardized work, the single best way we know to do a task. And because the workplace is so visual now, anytime you stray from that standard, it becomes glaringly obvious. And that is your invitation for Kaizen. You can only solve the problems that you can see, and 5S is the system that makes them impossible to ignore. All right, so let's start to wrap this up and think about how you can actually apply this stuff. We've seen that what looks like simple housekeeping on the surface is actually a profound strategic activity. So if there's one thing you take away today, let it be this. If you're serious about creating a culture of continuous improvement, you just can't skip the first step. 5S isn't a nice to have, it's not a side project, it is the launch pad. It creates that safe and stable environment you need for standardizing work, which in turn is the only way you can systematically find and solve problems on your journey toward perfection. Every great building needs a solid foundation. Well, in the world of continuous improvement, that foundation is 5S. So, the question is, are you ready to stop fighting fires in a chaotic environment and start building your own launchpad for excellence? If you are, make sure you subscribe to the Kaizen Academy for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for tuning in.